where you're going to come in, put your username and password. I've already gone in there. And when you come in, this is the first page that you see. Talk about data that you probably don't have, and if you need it, you've got to do a lot, again, jumping through hoops. But this is the dashboard that you immediately see. You get to see your current month's total, you get to see the period totals, and then you can even, I call it slicing and dicing the data up here. You can look at buyer or your funding source, your supplier, invoices, payment status. Maybe you want to see all of the vendors that are currently taking a V card. When you first start out, this is going to be a kind of interesting, right? Because if you're paying by check, nobody's taking a V card right now, right? But once you sign on with PairSoft Pay, Finexio goes in and runs a due diligence around your vendors, right? They're going to check all of the vendor data against their database to find out, hey, maybe that WB Mason or that supply store, they do take a V card from another one of their clients. Well, that's what we call that low-hanging fruit, right? They're going to reach out to them. You don't have to do that. You don't have time to do that. That's what you are investing in this in PairSoft Pay for. They're going to go in, they're going to run this due diligence on your vendors, identify those vendors that are taking V cards, and you're going to immediately see these numbers here. I only have 3, right? 3 vendors that are receiving the V card, but over the period of time, you're going to see that number increase, because they're going to go out there and they're going to do that hard work. The hard work that, really you don't have time to do. Your team does not have time to do. So this is the dashboard. I think this is awesome information. It's valuable information as well. And you can get to the details simply by clicking on this next tab over, which are the orders, right? So these are the invoices that have been processed. Now there are cutoff times during the day that funding is taken from your funding source. You might have multiple a vendor or supplier with multiple invoices. My invoices and payments here are one-to-one, but you might have a supplier that has submitted multiple invoices, and during that funding source time, or when the funds are taken, you'll get one payment, they'll get one payment, and for all 3 or 4 or however many invoices. But let's go ahead and look and see what this looks like. I can come in here and filter again on any of these columns. So let's look at come up here and let's filter by this. Let's go into, as I scroll over, you're going to see more information as well, right? Let's go into this WebEx so that you can, not WebEx, I'm sorry, WEX Enterprise. Let's go in here and look at that. So once, this is the steps that take place, right? The information was received, meaning it was received from PaperSafe's API A through the portal to Finexio. It was initiated, it went through a process. It was funded, meaning the funding source was the funds were taken out of the funding source. The payment was sent, and the payment settled means that the supplier, the vendor, has received those funds, right? Whether it is ACH, wire, V card, or check, right? So all of this is done, and this information is right there at your fingertips. There's also supply activity tab that you can go into, and you can, again, look at your funding source. You can look at the payment methods, the supplier names. You can look at the date range. So if you're looking to see, let's look at our the cash flow. What was the cash flow in April versus May? What was the outbound cash? And you can make this fill out these filters here to get that information. So let's go ahead and we'll just, I like to look at the funding source, right? Or, I'm sorry, the payment method. So let's look at wires and ACHs for kicks, right? So I can look at that information and see that. Or let's look at that V card. Again, you can always go in and get that information right there and see what those details are. The next tab over here, that's the payment aging. Now, I'm not going to have any of that information because actually we're not paying anything, right? So This is just dummy data.